Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Melody. You're at Bake a Leg and Let's Dig It. And this is going to be a garden tour just to show you what's going on. I was just harvesting some broccoli out of the no-till bed and thought, let me do garden tour, my Memorial Day one I never even bothered to post. Broccoli, cauliflower, and cabbage is in this bed here. That pot there, I planted little fingers of carrots. They're not up yet. You know, carrots take about two weeks. Let me lower this down just a little bit so I can show you what's going on in the garden. Here is the second vertical. Don't mind, I have a knife in my hand because I'm harvesting broccoli. This is the second vertical green stalk planter, and it has all big kahuna beans in here doing well. This is what the green bed is looking like. Don't mind the trellises. I swapped out the smaller trellises, which are these, from there yesterday and put the bigger ones in. I harvested a lot of the butter crunch. There's still romaine left. I have October beans, plus I planted some more that came from Boone in there. Salad bowl, you know, leafy greens. That's still all good, but the, what was it? Let me think. Pak choy and the arugula that I used, that bolted very quickly even though I was picking it. So this is the beans. I brought you along and showed you how I planted all the beans. I have flowers going all over. I have Chinese red noodle beans at the front getting ready to take hold of the trellis. So that's the idea for this trellis right here. But the beans look glorious. This is what happens when you densely plant beans. They look phenomenal. I'm gonna have a lot of string beans. This is the first original green stalk planter. It has squash, Swiss chard, different types of mesclun, marigold, pak choy, looking glorious. And we can't leave out this beauty, which I did an update on. This is my salsa garden. It's doing fantastic, and it has a couple tomatoes. I'll show you again in case you didn't see that video. Tomatoes, beans, some zinnias, 2 cherry tomatoes right there, some zinnias that actually just popped up today. How beautiful. So the zinnias are coming all in. This leads us back to the green bed. More zinnias. My other herb garden right here. Something's been going on with parsley this year. This is like my second or third plant, and it just, I don't know. My first one was so huge and thick. So I'm just going to cut that off. It looks like it wants to go to seed already, but it has been extremely hot here. But this is my other herb barrel that I did because I need extra herbs with now having chickens on the homestead, which is looking glorious. The tower. Over here, I told you that's carrots. I'm waiting for them to come up. Dollar store. I have a borage at the top. I have all spinach in there. I had to pick all my spinach. There's the broccoli bed, cauliflower, and cabbage. I have to finish harvesting the broccoli. This is borage, sunflowers. This is sugar baby pumpkins. And then I have, I think it's sugar baby watermelon right there. Some other ones coming up. And some crimson watermelon. And a row of sunflowers there with some weeds of grass I have to take out. This is new. Boone sent me some corn, and I planted it all in a pot probably about 2 days ago, and it's up already, so I have to water this pretty well. There's a few that still aren't up. So yeah, something different, growing corn in a pot bucket. Sunflowers, Garden State Gardener. There's the Genovese basil looking fantastic. These are those bunching onions I was talking about. They grew scapes on them, so I ended up cutting the scapes off. Let me lower this even more. I ended up cutting the scapes off You can see, well, I'm just going around in a circle. I'm really trying to see if these bunch of onions will actually produce an onion. Wouldn't that be funny? So you just take your finger, go around in a circle. If it wants to grow ahead, it will do so, because all my other onions died. So that would be pretty funny if this actually works. So I just take my finger and go around the bottom. So this is onions and garlic, which I don't know what's going on with the garlic. Looks like it's dying. I may have to pull that out. Just not sure. I planted it last November. It might be because I never pulled back the leaves. I'm really not sure. But if it's gonna not do okay, I'm gonna end up planting something else in there. This is the back. Strawberries. I've been picking strawberries off the baskets. Extra flowers, some sunflowers, extra tomatoes. My Mother's Day gift. And it's the wall of sunflowers. This is a grilling type of zucchini. I think it's called green griller. That's looking pretty good. This is a yellow prolific squash. Took a hot minute, but it's coming up. And sunflowers. This is all different types of zucchini. The green zucchini, cocozella. Oh, it's all in here. And different types of sunflowers or just flowers. I did go around this morning and I sprayed with a little bit of soap and water. Thank you, Pam, for the advice. I asked what bug that was. She said it was a cucumber beetle. It's been attacking my eggplant. But this is, I have a bloom. This is a cocozella. Like I said, green zucchinis, you know, squash. All in this area down to there. Sunflowers. I have to go in and just pick out a little bit of grass. Pull off a dead marigold. I had a kale. It just didn't do good at all. This is the last dollar store stackable. I have flowers up at the top. I want to say they are bachelor buttons at the top. A little bit of kale growing with the marigold, but I have to drop some seeds in here of something else. This is my glorious bucket. It's up the center of my garden of zinnias, basil, marigolds, all different tomatoes that I got staked and tied up. They're looking pretty good. Dr. Winchie's. I'll go through all the tomatoes I planted this year. My mint, even though it got water last night, it's looking like it needs more water. The corn, I showed you that. Tomatoes. I have more tomatoes over here that aren't staked up yet. But I'll get to it. I have a ground cherry right there that has a little bit of yellowing going on. I'm going to give everything a feeding today. A fish emulsion. Basil, tomatoes with flowering on it. And this is my eggplants. They have these little holes going on. So thank you, Garden State Gardener. He said to spray underneath. I did, with just a little bit of soap and water. They look like they're getting a breather today. From, I guess, that cucumber beetle. I have one of these. I have dwarf ones and then regulars in every bed, along with either basil and a marigold is in pretty much all of my beds. I turn around. There's one of my borges. Baby kale coming up. This is the zucchini patch. This is an apple something. Oh, and another one came up. That's pretty good. I've been struggling trying to get my cucumbers to germinate. I was dropping seeds, nothing. Okay, so this is like an apple something. And then this is that alpha or beta alpha right here, which you can see. I was putting the seeds down, they weren't coming up. Now I have a bunch and that's fine. If I have to adjust like this trellis, I will. But finally, some cucumbers are coming up. More sunflowers, some bigger, some smaller. And zinnias. And look at my first borage, my friends. It opened up just the other day. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Just waiting for a little bit more pollinators to come. So I have red zinnias, marigolds. Love my marigolds, you all know. In case you don't know, I love marigolds. And this is my first year doing borage. Thank you to Cindy's place. She sent me out borage seeds, and so did Saint Lady 5,000, I think she is. She sent me out borage, and this is unbelievable. Beautiful, beautiful plant. It's all edible. It also attracts a lot of pollinators, and look at how the flowers are. Gorgeous. My echinacea was transplanted and moved back here. It's doing great. There is my chamomile. Yes, I'm now behind and I have a bunch I have to pick. Sugar snap peas is in this dollar store stackable. I put it in a bad spot. It's hard to kind of get to these. So I might turn this all into flowers. We'll see. Whole wall of sunflowers going all the way down. Strawberries doing great. California zinnias. I think some of them I planted are the red zinnia seeds I dropped down in there. 2 cherry tomatoes right here. What happens to my tag? Oh no. This I think is the Chardonnay cherry tomato. I put 2 in this pot. And look at it. A little bit of rain last night, but it's dry, so I have to water everything again. That leads you to the eggplants, mint, sweet potatoes. They're in. I did 4, I think. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 in this pot. I didn't want to overdo it. Thanks to the advice of Jason Avers. Go check them out. This is my other herb barrel from last year. If you don't know, I built this last year. The only thing I built this year was over here, this no-till. And it's a pretty big area to grow in. Okay, the spring blush. Pink blush peas are doing good. Green arrow peas, I just put potatoes in Memorial Weekend. I did 2 rows of Yukon Gold and 2 rows of red. They're coming in. Herb barrel, doing great. I have to trim some of that, start dehydrating it. I have Brussels sprouts and a cilantro, I think this is, in between here. This is where I've been harvesting broccoli. These 3 are kind of small yet, so I'm going to leave them. And I just put in a couple red beets, but I'm probably going to do Detroit red beets there. As you can see, I was harvesting before I decided to do the video. I have red acre cabbage, a row there that came up. This is cauliflower. Lots of marigolds, gear, cabbages, celery, sunflower, a calendula that's absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, that's what's going on over here. I have a few more things I have to plant, but I think that's going to be Detroit red beets right there. Here is a pot that I dropped 2. There's my shadow. Sorry, everyone. That I dropped 2 or 3 potatoes in there. I'm using this tote that has lots of holes for some extra. I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4 sweet potatoes in this tote. There's the leaves. My grow bag from Indiana Backyard Gardener. I think this is a grilling zucchini. I put in here, it has lots of buds. My salsa garden. And then peppers. This half is all hot. That half is all sweet. Marigold, opal basil. Best plant ever. Genovese basil. This one is all sweet. Marigolds, basil, of course. This is like going to be a lot of like giant Marconis, Carmen Italian, the giant Resistance. There's purple opal basil right there. This is my variegated candy cane plant that I did last year, and I have it again, and we got blooms starting to get big. Wants to flop in. It'll probably crawl across the ground like mine did last year. So that is peppers, and this is my whole squash bed that took forever for some of these to germinate. I have another trellis still there because it's going to end up being for this. So let me just tell you what I have in here. Meat squash, butternut squash, acorn squash, a jar head, and a little bit of spaghetti squash, butternut squash, I did say that. I think 2 different types of acorn squash. That is what is in this bed over here. Marigolds in between the peppers. So yeah, this is not what's going on outside the garden, but I figured I would give you a quick garden tour of what's going on. I'm super excited that my corn is coming up in a pot. Glad that I got this all staked and tied up. And I have to finish harvesting broccoli. So I think that half of the bed is going to be carrots. And then when this bed is done with the greens, that is probably going to be Chautauqua beets, honestly. So yeah, I may put in some more beans. Oh, and we got a pepper that is starting right there. I didn't stake up my pepper plants yet, but my plants were a little bit smaller, plus the weather was a little bit crazy on when I was able to get out here and get them planted. So we'll see how the season goes. Beans hanging. It's probably from the rain maybe. Let's take a quick look. Trying to be faster on this garden tour. I have lots of things in containers up on my deck. I think this is just so heavy it just wants to fall out. That's okay. I have lots of things in pots on the deck. I will quickly show you, but this is the main garden, my Mother's Day gifts. I have to pick all these off. The rain, so I have to deadhead it all. This one is the Alpine Aster. The blooms are gone because I had to pick them off. And I weeded this just the other day. And then this is the one, my other one, when there's the sunflower there. And this is ZINNIAS Early Bird Radiance. I have to pick all these off. You see them? And sunflower. There's a sunflower in the corner over near that bed right there. And there is a sunflower right there growing. If you can see that. This is 2 cherry tomatoes in here. These are the blueberry cherry tomatoes. And a few more things I have to plant. I ripped out the rest of my spinach. Purple opal basil. Some Gerber daisies. I thought I planted garlic chives in here and nothing was coming up, so maybe I didn't. So I pulled out a little bit of Genovese basil, 2 sprouts, put it in there. This, I'm not sure. It's starting to look like a flower. So we'll have to wait to see what it comes up. Y'all know what that is. That is a tiny Tim tomato right there. There is a red Gerber daisy. This is my sweet basil that I've been pruning. Look, this needs water ever so desperately. This is Genovese basil. So I have to water that. I have a tomato plant in a recyclable, well, I recycled this container from my knockout roses. There's basil in here. There's a marigold and tomato plants. That's called Little Sicily. So that's here. And that one, lemon balm. I must have planted something else there because there's a hole. Another cherry tomato, and of course it probably blew away the tag. Yeah, I don't know what tomato that is. This is a calendula. Yeah, that's a bummer. I planted tall top early wonder red beets. Right here you can see that they're coming up. That's going to end up going over to where I'm harvesting my broccoli out of in the in-ground bed, but that also needs water. Purple opal basil. This is 2 cherry tomato plants. This is the Napa Chardonnay tomato. I'm not really sure what that other one is in the back. This one is a cherry tomato. It's a micro tomato right there. Planted this last year. Never came up. This year it did. I have no idea what it is. So my friend wrote mystery. Plant right there. Some thyme. This is for my grill. This little herb basket for when you're cooking. I have some more squash, zucchini, basil down here. This is a tea garden. It's sage and thyme. It did have rosemary, but that didn't last right there. My kitchen herb garden's doing wonderful. I'll just lean over. There's calendula. There's borage down there. Poppies. That's the other flower I forgot to tell you. I planted in the back. Poppy flowers. Pretty sure. Basil, thyme, rosemary, lemon thyme, opal basil. I think I did the mammoth basil, Genovese. I have dill, cilantro, my sage plant that's just taking over. So everything is down here, looks pretty good. I have a rosemary bush right there. And yeah, let me put this on pause and I'll just go down and show you the raspberries. Okay, this is the patio table. I planted some zinnias, but look, a bunch more zinnias are coming up. I'm probably going to have to pluck them out. But let's go down, and I have mint up here on the patio, so I do grow lots of things in pots, and I recycle them. My roommate's going to be working on the chicken coop. He started digging a trench so we could put the chicken wire there so nothing can get underneath. But let's go look kitchen herb garden a little bit better. There is my rosemary bush from Jay, looking good. Put it in the grounds. The herb garden, there is lots going on, but my sage, there's a borage, it's ready to open. My sage has been flowering. This is enormous. I'm probably going to start cutting it back so I can start dehydrating it. Dill, you know, dill and cilantro will last so long before the heat gets it. I planted some Thai basil. I recycled the tag. Hopefully that comes up this time because that will be my 4th attempt. Oh, well. Oops. Do you see what I see? Let me see. Little horns came out too. I'm not sure what kind of caterpillar this is. But let me break this off. Say hello to our little friend. Can you see? I hesitated because little horns came out. I'm going to sit that there 1 minute and check to see if there's any more in here that I may have not noticed before it chews it all down. Watch your herbs from caterpillars because they love it. Don't kill the caterpillars. They turn into butterflies. So lots going on here. Beautiful. I got 2 different types of calendula on the property. Beautiful flowers. Blueberries, I'm getting some. They're starting to get some green leaves. This was looking really bad in the ground. Transplanted it, looking pretty good. I have all these pots that need water, things to plant over here. But here is the raspberry bush. It has like tripled in size, kid you not, since last year. It's all the way out to here. It's got lots of berries on it. Hopefully I get to them before the birds do and other plants. This is my backup garden for extras, which all need water really bad. My apple tree, my other apple tree. And yeah, so I got to give all them water, and I would like to get bug netting for this so I can get a lot of raspberries because they're quite expensive in the store these days. So I'm trying to keep my eye on this. I have to give myself a reminder to come out every day and check it. There's one that's starting to turn colors so that I get these and not the birds this year because like I said, they're expensive in the store, but it's huge. Look how big this raspberry bush is. Enormous. Poor things are going to die if I don't give them water. So yeah, and let's see if I could squeeze in. This is St. John's wort in a pot. So let's see if I could fit in the medicinal side. I'm trying to have an all medicinal side. So you have to go through the garden, out the other side. Walk past the broccoli. And let's go see what I have. I would like to get another echinacea to put over there. Okay. This is like a shady spot, so this is great for me. I planted some sunflowers and stuff in here just the other day with some flowers. Jimmy loves my sunflowers. He's like, why don't you turn it in? Because the rain was washing the dirt away. So let's see. I have lavender, oregano, a chamomile. That's another lavender. Okay. I put in 2 lavenders here. Great. Lemon balm. Look how big this lemon balm is. It's glorious. Humongous lemon balm. Bee balm. There's an extra chive plant and a mint plant over here, but I'm not sure. So yeah, any recommendations on what else I could put in this spot here? Medicinal that I should have on this property. This is over here. This is the medicinal side. My camera's starting to overheat. So if you can think of anything else I can add over here, I would greatly appreciate that. And then I showed you that over there. Sunflowers growing. This is a chair if I want to lay in the sun, which no way, it's been so hot. And then a table over here where it's nice and shady normally. The peas are looking fantastic. So that is my what's going on in the garden. Just just figured I would bring you on. I got a lot planned Memorial Day, and yeah, pretty excited about it. I just have lemon basil plant and some other things like where I'm pulling out the broccoli. I have to finish and go over there and harvest the rest of my broccoli today, get that situated, and yeah. So on that note, I love you all. I hope you enjoyed the tour. I tried to be a little bit quicker. You know, doing a garden tour is not really all that fast when there's a lot going on. So, got to see the raspberries, the medicinal side. And yeah, what do you think? Leave me a comment down below if you know anything else medicinal that I could plant on the medicinal side, obviously. And yeah, I hope you all have a blessed day. I'm not going to stake my pepper plants up yet. Pretty soon though, because they're getting kind of tall, as you can see. I'll be staking them with probably the bamboo ones. But anyway, so that is my what's going on in the garden for June. On Memorial Day one, I just didn't even bother to edit and even post it. But yeah, I love you all. I hope that your gardens are doing fantastic. And I guess I will catch you on the next video. Have a blessed one, everyone. Happy gardening. Bye-bye.